Yes, class. Our today's topic is insolvency of partner. Insolvency of partner is the last topic of chapter number 4. Okay. Insolvency of partner is an important topic from exam point of view. Now let's start. After all adjustment in capital account at the time of dissolution, it is possible that capital account of one or more partner may show debit balance. Yes, it can be that the capital balance show a debit balance. Debit balance mean negative balance. Credit balance mean positive balance of partner's capital account. Credit balance mean firm pay credit balance to partner. In case of debit balance, partner pay debit balance to firm. Okay, so in such case, if partner is a solvent mean good person, he has a sufficient cash balance. In such case, if a partner is a solvent, he will bring cash for debit balance and pay to firm. Okay, but if the partner has been insolvent, if the partner has been insolvent, then he could not pay anything to firm for his debit balance of capital account. A insolvent partner could not pay anything to firm for his negative balance of capital account or debit balance of capital account. So he will not be in position. He will not be in position to bring his deficiency. Yes, he could not pay anything to firm because court declared he is insolvent and he is free from his every liability. Okay, he is not liable for anything. Now, deficiency of capital account in these conditions. Deficiency of capital account of such partner will be borne by solvent partner. Yes, because at the time of dissolution we close the capital account permanently. Okay, so if a partner's capital balance show a debit balance, then how to be close it? Because the capital account will be closed when somebody born his deficiency or somebody born his capital account loss. So in that case, the remaining partner must be solvent. Okay, the remaining partner will be born, they can be solvent, they must be solvent. Okay, remaining partner will be solvent and they bond the deficiency of insolvent partner. Okay, regarding that mean in this condition insolvency. Regarding that, the Gardner versus Murray case 1903 is important. Okay, 1903 Gardner versus Murray case is important. So what is the effect of Gardner versus Murray? Gardner, Murray and Wilkins. Gardner, Murray and Wilkins were partners in a firm, sharing profit and loss equally. The firm was dissolved on June 19, 30 June 19. The firm was dissolved when, at the time of dissolution, the total deficiency, the total deficiency of Wilkinson account, which is a total 475 pound. Okay, the total deficiency of Wilkinson account was 475 pound and Wilkins was insolvent partner. Wilkins was insolvent partner and the Gardner and Murray decide to be bond his loss, in which ratio it will be the main issue for them. Okay, so the decision taken by the court. The decision taken by the court regarding that case is there is a 2 point on the basis of decision awarded by the court in the case. Following the 2 point must be noted. Okay, one is the loss of insolvency of partner share. Loss of solvency of partner shall be borne by a solvent partner in the capital ratio. It is the main clause of decision. That the loss of solvency of partner shall be borne by a solvent partner in the capital ratio. Normally we divided each and everything in P and L ratio, profit and loss share, but the deficiency of insolvent partner, the deficiency of insolvent partner borne by solvent partner in their capital ratio, not in P and L ratio. And second clause is solvent partners shall bring their share of loss on realization in cash. These 2 points are to be noted if the insolvency of a solvent partner shall borne by solvent partner, then these 2 points must be noted. That first of all, solvency will be borne in capital ratio and the partner will bring loss on realization in cash. Okay. Now again, if a partner is insolvent at the time of dissolution, then the deficiency of his capital account shall be borne by a solvent partner in their capital ratio. This is final fact. Okay. At the time of dissolution, deficiency of insolvent partner is borne by solvent partner in their capital ratio, not in profit sharing ratio, as per Gardner versus Murray case. Okay. And second point is, the partners shall bring their share of loss on realization in cash. Generally, in previous numericals, we seen that the realization profit and profit transfer to all partners capital account. But in case of realization loss and partner insolvent, then the loss of realization will be pay in cash by partners. Okay. Now come to next. In lack of information, this is the important note. In the lack of information in question, it should be solved applying the provision of Gardner-Murray case. Okay. If your numerical is silent that Gardner versus Murray applying or not, then you should applying Gardner versus Murray for your problem solution. Sometimes it's given in numerical that the numerical solved by Gardner versus Murray provision. If there is no information in numerical, then we will apply Gardner versus Murray provision in our numerical. And the provision is the loss of insolvent partner borne by solvent partner in their capital ratio. This is important topic, and these are two important questions, short type. First is insolvent partner loss bring by solvent partner in which ratio? Capital ratio. Next is, which case is important in insolvency of partner? Gardner versus Murray case is important in case of insolvency of a partner. Okay. Now come to next. Our next numerical is based on insolvency of partner. Our next numerical number 7. You just open page number 158. Numerical number 7 is based on insolvency of a partner and how to bond the remaining partner his deficiency in their capital ratio. Okay. Now start. Yes. Numerical number 7. X, Y, Z are partner in a firm sharing P&L in ratio 4:3:3. On 31st December 2015, it was decided to dissolve the firm, on which date their balance sheet was as under: creditors 80,000 capital, X and Y 80 and 60,000 cash, 6,000, debtors 90,000 less PBD 5,000, net balance is 85,000, stock rupees 1,20,000, and Z's debit balance of capital account rupees 9,000. Yes. So in this numerical, Z will be insolvent. Okay. Now see next. Y was appointed to realize the assets and amount so collected to be distributed. Yet it can be that the firm appointed a partner to realize the cash from assets and amount so collected to be distributed in their payment of liability. Okay. So in this case, firm pay a particular commission, a fixed commission to that partner who do all this work, sale of assets, payment to liability, and in such case the realization expense will be borne by the partner who do all this work. Okay. If partnership firm, remind it, if a partnership appointed a particular partner to sell the assets and distributed the amount to their liability holder. So in that case, firm pay a fixed commission to the partner, okay, for all this work, and the realization expense in such case will be borne by the partner, okay, and he will get 5% amount, 5% commission amount, and he will get 5% commission collected from stock and debtors, and he will bear all expense. Which type of expense? Realization expense in all this matter. Why report about his collection as under that 96,000 was realized from stock and 72,000 from debtor, and creditors were paid rupees 76,000 in full, and 1,000 was paid to an outstanding creditor not appeared in the balance sheet. Unrecorded liabilities also paid off. Y was declared insolvent. Yes, Y was declared insolvent, and only 7,720 could be collected from his private assets. Yes, he could pay only 7,720 rupees finally. It doesn't matter which is the amount of deficiency, but he could pay only 7,720 in favor of firm. Apply the Gardner versus Murray rule. Prepare realization account, partners capital account, cash account to close the books of firm. Yes. First of all, we will prepare our realization account. Same concept just like in previous numerical. First of all, we will transfer all assets to realization account. But in this numerical, there is only two assets which is transferred to realization account. First is debtor and next is stock. Because cash balance transfer to cash account and capital account balance transfer to capital account, so there is only two assets. First is debtor and next is stock transfer to realization account. Journal entry is realization account DR 2 stock and 2 debtor. 2 stock 90,000, net total amount of debtor account 90,000, and 2 stock amount rupees 1,20,000. Okay, next in liability side there is a PBD of amount 5,000 by PBD and creditors are our liability. So journal entry is PBD account DR to realization and creditors account DR to realization. So by PBD amount is 5,000 and by creditor amount rupees 80,000. So these are our first two entries. First is assets transfer to realization account, and next is creditor transfer to realization account. Okay, now come to next. Selling price of asset. Two assets sold. Stock for rupees 96,000 and stock for rupees 96,000 and debtor for rupees 72,000. Okay, so journal entry is cash account DR to realization, and again for cash account DR to realization. So cash account realization for stock, cash account DR to 96,000, and next is cash account DR to realization 72,000 for stock and debtor. Next, payment to liability holder. There is two liability. First is creditors. Final payment is 76,000 and unrecorded credit is also rupees 1,000. So journal entry is realization account DR to cash 76,000 and realization account DR to cash 1,000. 76,000 for creditors of rupees 80,000, and 1,000 for unseen creditors or unrecorded creditors. So there is two entry. First for creditor recorded and next for creditors unrecorded. Okay, now come to next. The commission paid to Y get commission on total assets realized. Y get commission on total assets realized. Total amount realized by Y is 76,000 from stock and 72,000 from debtor. So total amount realized 168,000 and commission 5%. Journal entry is Y realization account DR to Y's capital account. Realization account DR to Y's capital account, and total commission credited to his capital account is 168 total of these amount. 168 into 5%, that is 8400. Okay, so this is our realization account. Let's see it again. First of all, two assets transfer to realization account DR, two debtor to stock. Next, two liability transfer, PVD account DR, creditors account DR to realization. Okay, then selling price of assets, cash account DR to realization by cash 96 and 72,000. Payment of liability 80,000, but net payment is 76 only. Then realization account DR to cash for recorded creditors and realization account DR to cash for unrecorded creditors. Finally, Y get commission 5% on realized value of assets, that 96 plus 72 is 168,000 into 5% 8400. Commission credit to his account to Y's capital account 8400. Okay. Now balance of realization account. Total of debit side is higher, 295,400. Total of debit side is 295,400 minus 5,000, 80,000, 96 and 72. Then net loss of realization account is 42,400 in net loss of realization account, which is transferred to partners capital account in their profit sharing ratio, that is 4:3:3. So 42,400 into 4 upon 10, 42,400 into 3 upon 10, 42,400 into 3 upon 10, 1690, 12,720 and 12,720 is the realization loss transferred to partners capital account DR side. Okay, come to next, partners capital account. How do we prepare partners capital account? Yes, partners capital account. First of all, opening balance of partners capital account. The two balance are in credit and one balance in debit. X and Y are credit balance. X and Y are credit balance. So buy balance BD 80,000 and 60,000 for X and Y. And Z's balance is debit balance. So two balance BD amount rupees 9,000 in Z's column. So X and Y credit and Z is debit according to your balance sheet. Okay. Now there is no journal reserve, P&L, nothing is given in your balance sheet. Okay. Come to next, loss of realization. Loss of realization debit to partners capital account to realization 16,960, 12,720 and 12,720. Loss of realization transferred to partners capital account DR side. Okay. So we discussed it earlier that a loss of realization paid in cash. Loss of realization paid in cash in Garner versus Murray case. So these realization loss will be paid by partner in cash. Loss of realization will be paid by partner in cash. So there is an entry for cash account DR to partners capital account by cash 16,960, same. 12,720, same. But Z only pay rupees 7,720 according to numerical. That Z only pay 7,720. Loss is higher, but he can paid only 7,720 rupees finally to firm. Now next, Y's commission. Y's commission is a Y's income, so credit to Y's column. This is by realization 8,400 rupees commission credit to Y's column. Okay. First of all, balance BD, credit and debit. Next, realization loss transfer to DR side, but loss paid in cash. So by cash same amount, but only in Z column 7720 because he could pay only 7,720 rupees finally. Next, Y's commission. Y's commission credit to his account 8,400. Now we will calculate Z's deficiency, negative balance of Z's capital account. Total of Z's column in debit side is 21,720. 21,720 and in credit side only 7,720. Then 700,720 is total debit balance in which he pay only 7,720 rupees. Then total deficiency of his account is 14,000. 21,720 minus 7,720 equal to 14,000 is deficiency of his capital account, which is borne by X and Y in his capital ratio. The capital ratio of X and Y is 80,000, 60,000. That is 8:6. 8:6, or in short 4:3. Yes, 4:3 is a capital ratio of X and Y, and the deficiency 14,000 will be divided in this ratio. 14,000 into this is the capital ratio 80 and 60, the 8 6 or 4 3. So 14,000 into 4 upon 7 and 14,000 into 3 upon 7. So 8,000 debited to X and 6,000 debit to Y and 14,000 credit to Z. Journal entry pass X capital account DR, Y's capital account DR to Z's capital account. This is the only new matter. This is the only new matter in case of insolvency of partner. Okay. Again, total of Z. First of all, we will calculate deficiency of insolvent partner. Later on, we will calculate balancing figure of remaining partner. Okay. So total of Z's column in debit 21,720. He paid only 7,720. Then minus net balance is 14,000. 14,000 is net deficiency of Z's account, which will be borne by X and Y in capital ratio, that is 8:6 or 4:3 in short. So loss transfer X capital account will be debit 14,000 into 4 upon 7 and Y is 14,000 into 3 upon 7. The 14 into 4 upon 7 8, 14 into 3 upon 7 6. Journal entry X capital account DR, Y's capital account DR to Z's capital account. So X and Y debit and Z is credit with same amount. Journal entry transfer to capital account X and Y debit with the name of Z to Z's capital account 8 and 6 debit to X and Y and same amount, and the same amount transferred to Y's column, sorry Z's column, and same amount transferred to Z's column, that by X and by Y and credit to Z 8,000 6,000 14,000. So X and Y debit and Z is credit for his deficiency. Okay, Z's capital account is permanent closed, both sides are equal. Now next we will find out balancing figure of X and Y, which is paid by firm in cash. Okay, total of X in credit side 96,920 minus 24,960 debit balance. 96,960 minus 24,960 net balance to cash 72,000 finally paid to X and his capital account is closed. In case of Y, total of credit side 81,120 minus 18,720. 18,720, the net balance is 62,400 paid to him in cash, and X and Y's capital account is closed with balancing figure cash paid by firm to him. Okay, 72,000 and 62,400 is balancing figure of X and Y column, which is paid by firm to them in cash. Now next finally capital account, sorry, cash account. Cash account is most common account. Yes, first of all, opening balance of cash account. Opening balance of cash account is always debit, transfer from balance sheet to balance BD, amount rupees 6,000. Now we will see in our realization account and partners capital account total buy cash. How many times you make entry buy cash, buy cash, buy cash. So in capital account, one single entry in credit side, that buy cash, cash bring by partners, buy cash, and buy cash transfer to DR side. Buy cash mean cash bring by partner and debit to cash account. So to X, to Y and to Z 69,60, 12,720 and 7,720. Okay. Now these two entry of cash is transferred from realization account, cash account DR to realization 96,000 and cash account DR to realization 72,000. 96,000 of stock and 72,000 of debtors, and these amounts bring by partner for his loss of realization account. Okay, come to CR side. Only single entry of payment to partners 72,000 to X and 62,400 to Y, and these entry transfer to credit side. Payment side in credit and debit side is received. So by X and by Y 72,000 and 62,400. These two entry transfer from realization account realization account DR to cash payment to creditors, and realization account DR to cash unrecorded liability of rupees 1000, and finally both sides are equal with 211,400, 2,11,400. Okay, so all cash received transfer to DR side and all payment transfer to CR side. First of all, buy balance BD from balance sheet. Cash account DR to realization 96,000. Cash account DR to realization 72 from debtor, and cash account DR 2x to y to z, that is loss of realization account. Now payment side, there is two payment, one for creditor and one for unrecorded liability, that is realization account DR to cash 76 for creditor and realization account DR to cash for unrecorded liability, and this is the final payment to x and y, that is x capital account DR, y's capital account DR to cash 72 and 62 400. Okay, so this is your numerical number 7, and your homework is numerical number 8. You solve numerical number 8. I will solve numerical number 9 in tomorrow's class. Numerical number 8 is your work.